So today we are reviewing the Bolt. This is a base game schematic that you can get from any mission or any llama. It has the capability to pierce multiple enemies and it takes medium ammo, with fairly decent damage. Now, you might look at this gun and be like, it's made out of junk, which, yes, but sadly, even though it's made out of junk, it is not a cheaper schematic. It still takes the normal amount of resources to craft this gun. And this said gun, the Bolt, is the legendary version of the Junkyard Pal, which is a base game revolver that goes to gray to blue rarity, and is very known for being absolute trash, and even being a weapon Epic Game would use to punish dupers. Now, there is a good handful of experts you can run with this gun, like headshots cause an explosion, 5 headshots in a row, snare, and on hit bullets shrapnel. But I preferably go for Affliction, because with Affliction and piercing multiple enemies, you're just clearing them out with one bullet, and it's super good, from my remembrance. Personal opinion type of moment there. But what I'm trying to say is, you're piercing multiple enemies, you're giving them Affliction, and if you get your headshot, it's going to do extra damage and to all the enemies. It's really, really good. So, yeah, here's the run I'll be building. Make it count with Beetle Jess, with totally rocking out, 6 shooter and support. I know that's only for the first 6 bullets, but bonus damage is bonus damage, and damage is tasty. So, hip shot, and then Syrian Might. This is the build I'm using, and I don't have any plans to do a second loadout, so this might be a one game video. Okay, I was about to load into a game, and I just saw this. What? Item trading is now off in the campaign, but remains enabled for dungeons. Nearby teammates get extra copies of loot and containers, enemies. Hold on. Okay, I just looked it up real quick. I now have no means to review a Founder's weapon because you can no longer drop weapons to your teammates. And since I can't craft Founder's weapons, I just can't review them now. Which fucking sucks. But, yeah. This sucks. Okay, I went to go see the player count in Save the World, and, yeah. We're a bit low at the moment. That might be due to the recent update, I'm not fully sure, but we are on a bit of a low time. Now, it is fairly early, but still, point being, I haven't seen it this low in a really long time. So, yeah. Anyways, we found a match. Let's load in and let's test this out. Alrighty, never mind. I know I was loading to a Pirate Shanty Zone, but sadly I couldn't find a match in that because even though it said I was joining a game, nobody was there. So I'm just loading into a match, different one, capture the data, or retrieve the data, not capture the data. Point being, we're going to review it in this zone. So I'll get in, craft the gun, and then we'll review it, of course. So yeah, okay, and I reloaded. I couldn't even pause it. Wow. Honestly, I really like it when it loads in fast. That is actually that's really nice in my opinion. But yeah, and they instantly. I've been recording this. Okay, I'm gonna be that honest. I've been recording this video almost all day because I haven't been able to get that much good footage of it. And when I record videos, I try to get the best footage I can. But with the recent Windows update, it's also been super choppy at some spots, and it just isn't that good for video. Because, you know, like, I know my videos are kind of choppy as is, but I don't want them to be ultra choppy. As you see, the pistol does pierce multiple enemies. I have another teammate who's just killing enemies. Kind of annoying, low-key, but whatever. But yeah, I'll come back if we find any big enemies. There's a big crowd of enemies over here, so let's pull out the pistol. Now they are lined up, so I can actually demonstrate fairly well the piercing capability. As you can see, it pierces through multiple enemies, and then the Affliction just picks them off. Its damage isn't all that great. Well, it's mediocre damage, but that piercing really does give that trade-off of the large kill waves, I guess you can say. Like, it kills a big abundance of enemies very quickly with that said Affliction. And let's see if we can get the crow. Come on. Yeah, there we go. 1 Affliction, 2 Affliction, bam. Okay, we got another random teammate. We got a vacuum tube shotgun. Anyways, we have a crowd over here. Let's see if we can kind of maneuver them so they want to go to us in a fairly straight line up and stuff. Now you see, it does fairly well. These are Husklings, of course, but Husklings are fairly well at showing off the piercing. There's a couple dead right there. If I don't miss my shots, of course, like I've said before, I am not the best aimer. But as you see, it is fairly well. Now, of course, if you go against a single target, it's not going to do great because, again, it's mediocre damage, but the trade-off of the piercing and the affliction possibility, it's what really balances it out, because if you're not doing the piercing, you're not really doing your damage with said weapon, which is the bolt, of course. Anyways, let's try not to die. Can I line this up? There we go. Oh, no, stop moving. Okay, there we go. As you see, it pierces through, and I don't think there's any damage reduction each time it passes through. So every time we pierce an enemy, I don't think it loses any damage, which is super good. It might be good. Gosh, they're everywhere. It's like a zombie apocalypse game. Point being, it is fairly good for crowd clearing. So we have another crowd of enemies. I know the video is super choppy, but sadly, I just kind of have to deal with that because I have no other way to record, and I enjoy making videos. So yeah, I hate when it's choppy. I know you guys probably hate it when it's choppy, but to record, I kind of have to deal with it because when it's an update, it sucks dick. Because I updated it, and then ever since the update, it's just been super choppy. Like, I don't know what the as is are choppy, but this is super choppy. It somehow got worse in the update. Our update's meant to improve the performance, not, you know, make it a freaking slug.
I'm gonna get you!
Okay, what the fuck was that maneuver? You saw that, right? Freaking like drifted. Drifted this again. The lineup right here. But you see, it appears as multiple enemies, and it does fairly well. Ridiculous. Anyways, we have a bit of a crowd over here. You can line them up real quick by just kind of circling around. Okay, we got a little bit of a bunch right here, so let's just get into it. Now, as best I try to show off the piercing, the only issue is that the enemies are always moving, and they're not always moving in a very single file line. They're not like the Battle Royale zombies for like Board Rush, where they're very uniform at times. These ones do tend to move around, be a lot less predictable, which is super annoying, especially for testing out piercing weapons. But as you see, you can shoot these two at the same time. But for that, I had to sit in the not Storm Cloud, but the Bee Swarm. I had to sit in the Bee Swarm, and it's super annoying. Honestly, the bee mechanic is so annoying in Save World. I personally really hate it, but it's game mechanic, and you know, it's been in the game since like the beginning of the game, so getting rid of it at this point seems just kind of silly. So I know that would never happen. Oh my fucking god. Oh my
disgusting!
God. Hold up. So as we can see here, we have a nasty broadside spammer in their natural habitat. They spam broadsides thinking it will do great, but little do they know, these ones will do moderate. These ones will suck dick. Also, they used brick and water mission. I put these wall darts here, but everything else is theirs. So yeah. It's not the greatest defense. Hopefully, it will do alright. But at least it is someone being funneled into a spot where I can actually show it off a bit. As you can see, if I don't miss my shots, they do tend to die. Now, they did play some Cyber Defenders with Obliterators, so they will probably get more than kills. But there's nothing I really do about that. You know, I can't ask the defenders to not shoot those enemies I'm shooting at, because, well, it's artificial intelligence. As you see, against a bigger enemy, it just doesn't perform all that well. And yeah, because this is very much just a cloud clearing weapon. You're not really using this to kill a mist monster per se. You're more than likely seeing a line of enemies and then just kind of shooting into them, kind of like this.
Let me
Now,
smash.
the smashers are getting through our defense as is.
Let me smash.
Instantaneous. Kinda crazy now. Oh my fucking god, it's on it. Fuck. Fucking idiots. Oh, let's put out a brick. Brick is like the best building feature. No. I even said in chat to use metal because they do 2x damage to brick. And what do? They go to place down frickin' water does 2x damage to brick. Don't use brick in a water zone. Use brick in a nature zone because that's like the literal only mission type that requires you to use brick. So 99% of the time you're using metal. Using metal or wood. Because more than likely they won't attack wood. Unless you're using for like a blockade, because then obviously they're going to attack the fucking the weakest object in the wood. Pretty obvious. I've seen pierce up multiple enemies, and then those enemies take up a couple affliction damage. They do get by themselves. They can kind of do like a scanning of an area, like shoot into the crowd per se, and the affliction will take care of most of it. Now we got a crowd over here, so I'm gonna go from behind. Okay. Target. Now my teammates are actually wiping out the floor. Kudos to them. They're not the most effective with trapping, but they're pretty effective with damage. That is interesting. If you just go AFK with it, it's fantastic. Yeah, like right here is a good spot. You see, I get that, and then it just splits off the affliction, and it really does take care of the enemies. It's fairly nice, very nice, very tasty. Now I'm gonna cut back when we get a mini boss.
Let me
I'm gonna
smash.
try to see if I can kill this smasher. As you see, it's very much not a single target.
Let me smash. Let me
Oh my god,
smash.
so many smashers! Oh my god. So you get my point. Not for single target, not for missed monsters. It is more or less for crowds, as in like trap tunnels, like this spot over here, or kind of like this spot before they destroy it. Yeah. I'll come back when we get a mini-boss. Alrighty, the mini-boss has spawned in. He's over here. He's far into the storm. Where is it? Is that guy right there? Yeah, the fire guy. Vampiric fire, slowing pools, knockback. So, let's see, he won't do anything. He's a bull immune, so it's now my teammate is using a pop shot, not pop shot. Yeah, he's using a pop shot, yeah. I was gonna have sound effects, but yeah, he's using a pop shot. As you see, it isn't the strongest single target weapon, obviously. It doesn't use it is living, which we do not want that. We kind of want the opposite. We want them dead, which it did do. It did kill them, but it was with a team effort. A team effort was required for that. Like we can light up an enemy right there, kill them, pretty tasty. Anyways, if you notice the video is like quite choppy today, I've had to record this multiple times because my laptop after Windows update has been struggling at recording at 1080p. I don't want to lower the video quality to 720p because I kind of prefer if you guys got a higher video quality with like a lower frame rate because I tend to record these at 30 frames per second. But it seems like with the current Windows update that came out last night, it really is just struggling to record. So if it continues to be this choppy, I might just have to lower the quality. Little fun fact, but I record all my videos on like a $50 laptop I got from a friend secondhand. I bought Optum secondhand for $50. It's very good. It's not like some like weak little Chromebook looking thing. It's a HP computer. But it records with a hard drive, and I gave it 16 gigabytes of RAM. Originally only had 4, so... The point being, I kinda struggle to record. I'm not sure how it's struggles doing live streams. I might have no idea doing live streams, honestly, because live streaming, to my knowledge, isn't that reliant on how good it is. I don't know. I don't know how streaming really works. Something like this. But point being, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to do live streaming, but it might be fun. But again, I don't really have a filter. I do try to filter out my personality a bit when I make videos. Because, yeah. I cuss a lot, I'll admit it. When I make videos, I try to cut it back a bit. But it is a little hard because I deal with a lot of stupid, and a lot of stupid deals to make, so it does become a little annoying, but it's mostly fine. Anyways, I'll see you in lobby. So, would I suggest the bolt as a primary weapon? Kinda. The biggest issue with it is the fact that it's not really good at single target, and it's not really good damage. It really peaks at its crowd clearing capabilities in very tight spaces. It's very similar to the Way in that sense, where that cloud burst damage can be very good if there's a bunch of enemies in a little tunnel space. But unlike the cloud burst, this gun doesn't really have that built-in crowd clearing in the sense that you have to be constantly shooting behind the enemies. Unlike the cloud burst, you kind of have to be in there and you have to be lining them up manually, and it's a real big mess. So unless you are a godsend at dodging hits, this weapon might not work for you, and that's completely fine. There's a ton of guns in the game that have good piercing, like the Xenon bow and what is it called? The one shotgun. Oh yeah, it's the Stalwart Squire. This gun has piercing and it's very good. It has one shot in its magazine though, so you kind of have to fire it, reload it, fire it, reload it. I have in Ventures right now, and it's been doing great. So if you're looking for a piercing weapon, honestly, I really suggest this one instead of the bolt because the bolt, even though it having pretty decent, it's pretty decent, but unlike the Squire, the bolt can have affliction, while the Squire cannot. The medieval weapons don't have affliction, and a lot of their things are tied around shield for some reason. As you see, on crit, regain shield. On each shot fired, shield, regrant, whatever, blah blah blah. Point being, it's very much shield based, but most of the time in Save the World, you don't really have your shield, and not much heroes or loadouts really benefit from you having a shield. So it's honestly best to go with damage dealt snares enemies because, well, obviously saying, bullet shrapnel is absolute garbage. So anyways, I'll see you next time, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a nice day. Goodbye.
What makes this movie about details and craftsmanship, such abstract, aesthetic value, which look easier